All right. How's everybody doing out there? And welcome to today's Monday's Client Support 101. My name is Dominic Bizerto, and I'm going to hopefully be spending some time on a topic that we could all benefit a little bit from. Um, Maybe not even in just our health coaching lives, but in life in general with our relationships. So I'm going to get right into it. Today's support topic, we're going to talk about enabling versus empowering. Okay. So let me ask you guys, you could just blink because it's going to be hard to see through this, but how many of you guys feel like now that you found Optavia and you found this program that you're in control, you have control over food. You feel like you know where to go to get some of these answers, where maybe before, when we were doing the program or before the program at all, like you just kind of felt like things just kind of came at you and you just kind of reacted and you didn't really know like how to get on top of some of your habits, how to make healthy meals. You thought you're eating healthy, but you just didn't know. Maybe you've tried a bunch of different types of diets. Maybe you were juicing, smoothies, or whatever it was, and then we'd go through, we'd lose the weight, and then we'd gain it all back, right? Because we really didn't learn anything. We were just kind of going on a program, going on a diet, and just kind of going through, not picking up anything, and we're just moving forward, and the weight fell off, but then right when we stop, weight goes right back on, right? I know for me, in life, I mean, this has happened in a lot of different things. I mean, when somebody tells me how to do something, they just tell me. I don't really learn until I actually start experiencing it and doing it myself. I know in situations where I've learned the most and have had the most benefits from, maybe on the sports field, maybe in a classroom setting or at work and different jobs that I've had, it's been when somebody has really built me up and empowered me and showed me how to do something, and then I was able to take it over and learn from it and move on and move forward, and in times where I may have seen success in certain areas of my life, but when people were enabling me, they were just kind of giving me the answers and giving me what I needed, and I was still successful, but right when that stopped, it kind of just fell apart. Well, as a health coach and in supporting our clients, I want us to think of that. Am I enabling clients or am I empowering them on their journeys to health? Okay, so think about it. So I'm going to come up with a couple of definitions right now so we can kind of see the difference, because they're very similar, but yet enabling versus empowering somebody, they can have very dramatic effects on the individual and their success moving forward through the program, okay? So enabling. To enable is to give someone or something like the authority or the means to do something. You kind of just allow it, you permit it. They ask you for a question and you give them the answers. You give them whatever it is that they ask for, you give it to them. I mean, think about it. Your kid has a question, they come home from school and you just give them the answer. Why? Because it's a lot easier, right? Sometimes it's a lot easier just to kind of give them the information so they can move on. We think, hey, I'm doing them a benefit, but what are they really learning? Like, think about it. Think about with your children. What are they learning? They're just learning to come back to you to ask you the next question and the next question. So instead of showing them where they can receive some of their answers, we're just putting it up for them, and we're not really helping them anything at all, because and we can think of this as through life. So individuals, they grow up and they keep getting enabled their whole life. They graduate from high school, they graduate from college, and then they go out into the real world and nobody's there to help them. They tend to fall down, or they tend to take a step back, or there's those that continue on and we talk about, hey, they're moving back in with their parents, whatever it may be. And it was more so because we enabled them, and then when it actually was time for them to take the reins, they weren't prepared, because we were actually doing them a disservice through enabling. So think about our clients. Think about enabling. Am I enabling them, or am I empowering them to learn and move forward and have the resources and they know where to go, so you don't have to be there all the time? So in a year, I mean, we still want to be there for them, but you don't have to be right there with them every second and it's tied up. You have the ability now to help other people and help them move forward, because they have the resources. They've already learned some of these habits that they can take with them. They know the books, they know the sites, they know that. So think about that with our clients, okay? So now we look at empower, and we look at the difference. It's still, if you look, it says to permit, to allow, but it says you give them the authority or power to do something, okay? And if you look down even deeper into the definition, it says make someone stronger or more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. So very, very similar in definitions, but can have very different and dramatic effects and outcomes if we continue to do one versus the other, okay? So I just wanted you guys to see those definitions and see how similar they were, and just think about, hey, what's the relationship I have with my clients? Am I empowering, or am I just enabling them and giving them everything they need to be successful, but they're not really learning anything and they're going to continue to come to me? So maybe some of the questions that may be asked are that you hear, and a lot of us may hear when an individual is on the program, they're going through their day and they're like, hey, can I eat corn and carrots as my veggies? You know, well, as an enabler, you probably say, oh, no, they're too high in fats and sugars to stay in fat burn. So think about it. How many of us give that answer just like really fast because maybe we're a little busy, or maybe, oh, we know that answer, it's simple. No, you can't have corn. No, you can't have carrots. You know, we know that as coaches, but do they know that? No, they don't know that, and they don't understand why. Even though we just gave them the answers, you know, how could we empower? So how can we take the same question, can I eat corn and carrots as my veggies when I'm on the 5-in-1? What does an empowering answer sound like? It's for you. Hey, how about this? Great question, you know. Why don't you try taking a look at chapter 9 of your Habits of Health book? I think you'll find what you're looking for in there. You know, also for similar questions, if you can't reach me, try emailing our amazing nutritional support department. They're great. They were a huge help to me when I was on the program. So what do we do here? I mean, they're basically going to go into those books and see the same answer that you would have gave them, but now it's freed you up and it's empowered them, because now they know in the future, hey, if I got questions maybe about some of these vegetables or some of these meals that are on the program, I know where to go get the answer from. I know a department that I can go to if my coach is out of town, or if my coach is working, or whatever it is and they can't get back to me. I have a tool, I have a resource. And now what happens as they do it, they start learning. They start learning more. Where can I find the answer? Where can I go? Who can answer my questions? And how can I move it forward? So that's more of an empowerer. When you answer the same question, you're answering it because you could have gave them the answer, but now they're getting it. It's going to help suit them a lot better for success, moving them forward in their program. So how about another question? Another question that we get, this is what I love because people start throwing this at you a lot, is, hey, is this okay for me to have? And then they shoot you something like this, right? How many of us get that? The nutritional facts on some of the food that they want to eat. And we get it, and we don't even know what it is that they're saying, oh, you know, I want to eat this, I don't know, it's like pork rinds, chips, cauliflower, something that's supposed to be healthy, organic. And they send it to you, and you're like, what is this? What is this drink that I've never heard of before? Or what is this? I mean, you name it, they come with it, right? So is this okay for me to have? And next thing you know, you're trying to analyze, what are the carbs? What are the fats? What's the sodium look like? You know, and if we're enabling them, the enabler will say, oh, no. It's too high in carbs and sodium to kind of stay in fat burn, and it's not really conducive to weight loss. I mean, look at the calories. I mean, 230, you know. This is a common situation that comes to us almost daily, random text messages at night. And if we answer this, then what are they going to do the next time? They're just going to take another snapshot of another label, and they're going to come back to you. And it's going to make your job as a health coach a lot more difficult, because now you're going to have to analyze all of these, and it's going to make it more difficult for you, a lot harder, because now your client sees you as all the knowledge, right? They're seeing you as, hey, this is my go-to person, which, yeah, you are, and yeah, you can probably answer to them, but we want them to be able to learn about these labels, you know? We want them to have a place to go, a resource for them to go to learn about this in their books or their website. So an empowering answer would be to the same question, is this okay for me to have? They shoot you the label. Hey, you know, I'm so happy you reached out to me. Can you do me a favor and email nutrition support? I've never had a client have those before, and I think it would really help others who may have some of the same questions or have the same question. You know, so look at that. Look at the way the answer is shaped and formed. It's going to help them get to their answer. I know a lot of them want to have the answer right then and there for it, but I mean, you could just play the card like, hey, I don't know. I've never actually seen that before, you know? So how can you do that? Email nutrition support. They're great. They'll get back to you within 24 hours, and you'll know going forward if that's something that you can have. So now we're helping our clients get to a point to where they know, hey, if food labels come up, what do I do? Where do I go? Hey, nutrition support is what Dominic said. So, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send a message to nutrition support. Let's see another one. What do we got here? Another situation, another question comes up. Hey, I want to mix up my lean and green so it isn't so boring or so bland. You have any tasty recipes that I can try? Oh, what do? Right off the bat. Oh, I do, right? I make zucchini enchiladas. Oh, let me give you the recipe. Boom. We shoot it to them. Or we say, we give them our next favorite one, revolution rolls or cauliflower pizza, and we just, boom, we give it to them because we have it, right? We have it, so why not give it to them? An enabler, sure, I'll send them right over. And we send them a website, we send them all kinds of stuff to where this person, maybe because they're struggling a little bit, we give them all the information. We just give it to them right away. When a better answer that we can have that will help support them more on their journey so they can continue to move forward, an empowering answer would be, hey, I know I've seen people post all kinds of creative things in our Facebook support group. You know, try posting your question there and let's see the great ideas people have that you may like. You know, that group is very supportive and just filled with amazing people. So are you guys kind of seeing where we're going with this? Where some of these answers are going? Like, we as health coaches been doing this for 3.5 years. Yeah, we have a lot of the answers. Or we know where to get them, and it can become very easy for us just to give it to them. But think about it, just like with our kids, is it really helping them? Okay, is it really helping them on their journey, or is it just a Band-Aid and just a quick fix? Okay, so we want to educate them. We want to empower them. And we are very, very competent, but we want them to be just as competent. So ask yourself, and we can kind of talk about this a little bit because I want to get to a little bit of a discussion on this topic right now. But, you know, when we first got into this and we did this, what set our program apart? You know, this gift that we have, what made it different? Because it's not just the food that makes it different. So what sets it apart? We want them to experience it, feel what we're feeling, and know where to get it. So we talk about things that set it apart. You as their health coach, you as the guidance, you as being that individual is going to set this program apart. The education with the books, the websites, workbooks, the client support groups where they can get tips, it really sets it apart. The habits that they learn, it's a lifestyle. It isn't just a diet. And if we just give people answers and we're not teaching them and empowering them, then it's just a diet. Then they're just reacting to whatever we say and they're not really learning. So think of the resources that we have. It makes it different. We're not a diet. We're not a quick fix. We are a lifestyle that we're trying to get across to individuals, okay? So think about it. Enabling, am I enabling my clients or am I empowering them so they can grow, so they can learn and move forward with the program and move forward with their journeys to health so it's something that they know and feel confident in that they can have for the rest of their lives, not just for the next 2 or 3 months. They can have it as they move forward. So that was kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I want to see kind of where you guys want to go from here on it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and let's try to see if we can promote some questions that maybe you guys have around this topic. And over the next 10, 15 minutes, ask some other questions you may have too, and let's see what we got. So I'm going to put us in the gallery so we can see, and let's see. Anybody have any questions on this, enabling versus empowering? Anybody find it helpful in what we do, right?
I think it's really helpful, Dom. We have, people that are always trying to answer the questions for people. And really just, when I start coaching people, I just let them know that I'm not going to be your go-to person, because that would be doing you a disservice. And I'm not going to be in your back pocket your whole life. So I'm going to point you in the direction of your answers so that you can find those, so that you'll be able to support yourself for the rest of your life. And then also share any of those information they get from nutritional support. I encourage them to share that in the Facebook community too, because I said there's probably other people with the same question as you. So
right.
That's another way. And then you find out the ones that actually do, those are probably your coaches.
Yes. Well, to kind of piggyback on that, you talking about coaches, right? So, I mean, she made a lot of excellent points. It sounds really easy to do that, right? Oh, you know what? Yeah, just go over here and ask that question. Super easy. Now, think if we're answering all these questions, answering all of them, and we become like this big, this is my head now, right? All filled with information in his head. Think about how maybe intimidating it may be for that individual to want to do what we do, right? We have fun, we love helping people, but if they're like, dude, I got to know all this information, like Nicole and Melody, they know all of this stuff. I don't know this stuff. Like, I'm just a regular guy. I work at a store or whatever. How intimidated are they going to be to want to become a health coach, But if we can guide them into different avenues, it's really going to help them on their journey. And then they're going to say, oh man, this looks super easy. They just tell me where to go. I've learned everything. I can do this. I can coach somebody. I can tell them to go onto this support group. I can tell them to email nutrition support. It's going to free up a lot of time for us to help a lot of people, and it's going to make the journey and health coaching become a lot less intimidating. Awesome job, Melody.
I'm wondering if Marina knows that she's off mute.
Oh, who we got? Oh,
Marina.
Got her. Marina over. Gotcha.
But that being said, I also wanted to add, did anybody see Jamil's post this morning about his son's photo day at school?
Yeah.
Very timely picture he put up there this morning. You know what I'm talking about, Dominic?
Yeah, I saw that one, yeah.
Yeah, the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but not tell you what to see. Loved it. I'm sitting here listening to you and thinking, now I know why he put it up there. He was leading to you.
No, it's so funny because these calls every week, you never know where the inspiration comes from or how we're going to get it or how these posts are going to stay.
Yeah.
Fun seeing it.
I love that picture. I stole that one as soon as he posted it this morning.
Yeah, one of the things I do tell my clients is, I say, they go, I can't coach, and I said, well, you guys got to realize I've been at UPS for 24 years and I don't know anything about computers and I had to learn everything, and you're not going to be having to know all of these answers. That's what sets us apart, is we have all the resources available to us. So you can coach anybody. It doesn't matter, because you don't have to know everything. You just have to know where to point them. So as long as you keep that fresh in their minds, then, then they'll be probably more open to talking about coaching with them.
Let's hear from some people in Irvine. How are the girls over there? Nicole, Katrina, what are you guys' thoughts on this whole deal? Jackie?
I'm speak for all of us, apparently. I got Christy here too.
Awesome.
See, now we're echoing. Honestly, I echo kind of what Melody said. I know for me, oh my gosh, I'm hearing an echo. Posturing it during the journey kickoff call is really, really important. That this is how we coach. We are not experts. I'm going to guide you. because I don't know everything. And I do a lot of, that's a great question. That would be really helpful if you posted that in the Facebook groups. I think the more that we can do that, the more time freedom we experience ourselves too. So we're not the ones constantly answering their questions. And I know for me, it kind of drives me crazy because I do want to give them the answer, but I know it's not, they're not going to learn on their own. But I do tell them, hey, tag me in the post so I can learn as well, or, forward me the email from nutrition support, just so I'm involved in, to make sure that they are getting the right answer. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Dom.
Yes.
I think sometimes why it can bother us, I've talked to Kim Fisk about this before. I always have to say Kim Fisk. It's not just Kim. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Okay, I know, Melody. I saw you. We're caregivers, we're lovers, we love for those friends and family members and those clients that we have. So we want to take care of them. So we want them to have all of the right answers. But it's okay to tell them, I don't know, but I'll help you find out. It shows credibility with yourself, that you don't know everything, like you were saying, because you don't want to be this like, oh man, Sarah knows everything. I can't be as good as her because I sure don't know everything. And I'm also used to working with little people all day long. I'm a kindergarten teacher, so it's way easier for me to deal with little people than it is for grown-ups. With grown-ups, it's kind of scary for me. So to teach them that, hey, like I'm learning right alongside you. So if you would tag me in that post, or when you email nutritional support, would you send that to me as well? Or would you let my other clients know, can we get on a call and talk about this later on? Because I want them to realize that they are teaching me just as I'm helping them to learn this facts and part of their journey. So just giving that, empowering them with the ability to teach themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not perfect, and we've all been on different journeys too. So I mean, and you could even go further and think of like, hey, what's the background of this individual, their culture, things like that. Some of the things that they bring to you, it may be very foreign to you, but some of these items, if asked, they may be able to have, on program. They just need to know where to go to get the answer. And that just opens up even more, because I know I've had so many clients that have just stuck to like chicken and broccoli, and that's all that they want to eat. And it's like, hey, you can have more, but they're scared. They don't know where to get the answer. So trying to have them utilize their resources and see kind of that it can be fun and how to do it and how other people do it, because other people are doing it. It's not like they have so much more time than this person to prepare these meals or whatnot. It really kind of opens it up to them and gives them, I don't know, I want to say power. It gives them power over their health and their program and the control so they can feel like they're in charge of this. It's not just us dictating to them what happens. They have, autonomy in the program. And you said something else too. It makes it, we're not perfect. We don't know everything. And, we don't ever want to be that person that just looks like perfect. We all have our struggles, because, there's probably, well, I guess this is kind of off on a tangent. I'll save it for later. But I was going to say, it can be hard sometimes to approach that individual that looks perfect, looks like they're up on that pedestal, and to come to them and think we need our clients to share with us what they're going through. And if we're up here and they're down here, when they're struggling, it may be hard for them to bring to the table, bring us the information that we need to help them. So we may be asking them, tell me about your day. Oh, it went good. And they leave it at that, when in actuality, they may be struggling with an issue that they don't want to bring to you because they feel embarrassed. Like, oh, they've told me before I should be doing it this way or whatnot. But if we let them know that, hey, we've had these struggles before too, we do continually struggle. Sarah mentioned, hey, I'm learning too, right along with you. You're helping me just as much as I'm helping you. It definitely kind of breaks down some of those walls, and then they know, hey, this is a safe zone, because we need some of that information. So we have to look human, because nobody wants that perfect individual being the one that's helping them out, because then it feels like, dude, I got a lot of flaws going on here, So, I mean, think about that. Think about that when you're coaching. Think about, even though, some of us maybe have killed it on the program or whatnot, let them know some of those struggles that you've actually gone through in your mind. Just be relatable to them. So then that way they will be more open to sharing with you, All right. Anybody else have anything? Any comments? Any questions? Maybe we can.
Question.
Yes.
So I was wondering if some of the nurses on the call could address the same thing, because I find in my position as a physician that people expect me to have information, so it's harder for me to make that like I'm learning along with you, which is actually the truth. I am learning along with them because I'm not a nutritionist. So I was just wondering if they had other tips, since they're in the medical profession, of how they handle questions from people when they ask for information.
Katrina?
I saw Jacqueline and Trina on the line, so.
Honestly, when I am coaching my clients, I'm not a nurse. I am a health coach. So even when I am reaching out to people, honestly, I don't even bring up, well, I used to bring up my healthcare background, but I've learned that I'm reaching out to them as a health coach, a certified Optavia health coach, and not as a nurse. So that definitely helps. For those that know that I am in the healthcare field, again, I put my nursing hat on, or my health coach hat on, and that's how I approach it. I don't think of it any differently, because all of us are one and the same. We're here to help guide them with their health journeys, and I don't. But that's kind of like how I approach it. So I'm not sure if anyone else approaches it any differently.
I would just add to that, and it's kind of what we were talking about before, and that, we're posturing it from the very beginning that this is why we are their guides and not the ones that are going to be answering all of their questions, because we want them to learn how to be self-sufficient themselves, because like what Melody was saying, they're not always going to have you in their back pocket. So I think for you, Mel, like when you're talking to people, it's like, yes, I am a physician, but however, as your health coach, I'm going to be guiding you to your resources so that you can learn along the way.
Can I add something to that? So a lot of my friends and my coworkers and even my clients know that I'm a nurse and in the medical profession. But even as a nurse, I've always come from the point of, even with patients, family members, anybody, my job is to always educate. That is my biggest goal, is to educate, because I believe education empowers people. And so I always tell people, when I educate you, it's to empower you, because I don't get to go home with you ever. So the more that you can be self-sufficient, independent, and empower yourself, the better you are. So I always come from that mindset, regardless of whether I'm a health coach or a nurse or a friend, just in general. That is my mindset with every single person. That's what I've learned, particularly over the past couple of years, as my job as like an infection preventionist, a patient advocate, an employee health nurse. Really educate. And the beauty of this whole program for Optavia, which I find of why it's not just a diet, it's because we do educate people. And so definitely come from that perspective, and I think it will help a lot. So then and I always tell people, whether you're doctors, whoever, no one's perfect, no one has all the answers, and none of us pretend to have all the answers. So, but if people want to come to you and most certainly don't be afraid to ask, because I think that's a hard thing too, especially if you're in the medical profession. Sometimes they think even asking might be like a stupid question. So I always make it comfortable for them to say, no question is stupid. Every question is important. And if I don't know the answer, at least I can point you in the right direction and give you the resources so that in the future you can help yourself and help other people.
Yeah.
Does that kind of help?
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, I love it. And I love getting on these calls where we have doctors and nurses and everybody in this business, in this community that can be able to help people, with these questions and answers and struggles. I love it. Love it. Thank you very much, Genevieve, Katrina, Melody, Nicole, Mel, everybody who chimed in today. If I missed somebody, thank you so much for your participation in this call. You guys are what makes this happen, and you guys are what makes this community of support be so successful. So I appreciate you all. We are up on the 6 o'clock hour. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I hope to see you guys again next Monday. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to stop recording.
Thank you, Dom. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.